Hello everyone, and welcome back to our weekly series of Is the Shrine Worth It? The series where we have a look at the perks and the Shrine secrets and see if they're really worth your 2,000 iridescent shards each. This week's shrine is a bit disappointing, but we do have at least a kind of consolation, is that most of these perks are from newer characters, so they're just about pick-upable. I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 10. We have perks from the Singularity, the Unknown, Leon, and Sable. Those perks are Genetic Limits, Unbound, Rookie Spirit, and Wicked. Let's get into the Survivor perks first. Our first Survivor perk is Rookie Spirit. After you hit 3 basic repair skill checks while a generator is regressing, you see its aura. This is what it looks like in game. I'm going to give Rookie Spirit a 2 out of 10. I think this perk is diabolically bad. It gives you information that you absolutely do not need, and for some reason it makes you do 4 basic skill checks in order to see it. I would much rather run something like Deja Vu, which actually gives you a percentage to increase your speed of doing generators rather than just information about regressing gens. Unfortunately, but kind of fortunately, this is the only licensed perk in the Shrine this week, so even though it's bad, it could potentially get reworked at some point down the line, so technically it is worth picking up because Leon is licensed, and the only other way that you get licensed perks is by spending real life money and buying the character in full. Our second Survivor perk is Wicked. While in the basement, you can unhook yourself. Whenever you are unhooked, you see the killer's aura for 20 seconds. This is what it looks like in game. I actually think that Wicked is a bit of a slept on perk. I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. Seeing the killer's aura for 20 seconds is a hell of a long time. So if you're trying to help people by blocking them when you're getting off hook or anything like that, and then you get straight into a chase, it's really, really useful. And being able to unhook yourself in basement can be good for certain killers. If you are very unlucky and you bump into a basement bubba or a basement trapper, then absolutely, this will help you 1000%. Unfortunately though, Sable is not licensed, but she isn't one of the newer characters, so it's probably much better if you save your iridescent shards and buy her in full, then you get a full character and you get all 3 of her perks by leveling her up instead. Let's move on to the killer perks. Our first killer perk is Genetic Limits. Whenever a survivor takes damage, they gain exhausted for 8 seconds. This is kind of what it looks like in game. I'm going to give Genetic Limits a 6 out of 10. Most people run an exhaustion perk, so using this makes it so that that exhaustion perk is pretty much irrelevant as long as you can get their first hit on them, and then within 8 seconds you can down them. Otherwise it becomes a little bit redundant, but for certain characters this is unbelievable. Like a Plague or a Legion, it basically makes all the exhaustion perks not work at all. So I would say this is pretty good in a lot of builds. Unfortunately though, the Singularity is not licensed, and I wouldn't say is new enough to the point where their perks are individually much more worth picking up just in the Shrine. Instead, you should buy the Singularity if you really want this perk, and then you get all 3 of their perks instead by leveling them up in the Blood Web. Our fourth and final perk is Unbound. Whenever a healthy survivor becomes injured, for the next 27 seconds, whenever you basic vault a window, you gain 7% haste for 10 seconds. This is what it looks like in-game. I'm going to give Unbound an 8 out of 10. 7% haste for 10 seconds is a hell of a lot of speed, and for that big window of 27 seconds to be able to do that in, that is quite generous. I personally would run this on quite a lot of killers, something with a one hit like a Michael Myers or maybe even a Bubba, it would be really, really good on them. Unfortunately though, the Unknown, just like the Singularity, is kind of in that weird middle space where they're not super old killers, but they're not super new, so it's not really worth just picking this up. If you have spare iridescent shards, because it's gone back to a weekly reset, I probably would say this is just about worth picking up. But if you can afford to save those shards up, I would probably do that, and I would get the Unknown in full instead. So to conclude this week's shrine, I would say that the only perk that's worth picking up is Leon's perk, Rookie Spirit, because it is the only one that is licensed. If you have a huge amount of shards, I would honestly probably just get characters instead of one-off perks, because none of these perks are really that worth your money. But if you really want one of them, it's not the end of the world if you pick it up, because this is a weekly rotation now and not a daily one. But because they're all unlicensed, I wouldn't really pick them up. Thank you for watching this week's video. I will have another video on the weekend for the Are They Worth It videos, and I will be back for another Shrine video next week on Tuesday. See you then. Bye.